Hello. My name's Amanda. I am American. I moved to the UK on a spouse visa, and I know what you're thinking. How is this an adult woman who is old enough to be married and obtain a spouse visa? She has the voice of Angelica Pickles from the Rugrats. To which I would say to you, you dumb babies! No, I am actually old enough to be married. That said, I was 25 when I got married, so I was a child bride. I've been married for 9 years to a man from Worcestershire. Thank you. It has taken me 9 years to learn how to say that. I hope at some point in the next 9 years to learn where it is. I'm also a vegan, but I'm going to subvert your expectations about what vegans are like by not talking about it anymore. The year that I got married and moved to the UK, the Home Office actually tweeted on Valentine's Day. I took a screenshot of this just because people don't believe that it's real. The Home Office tweeted, #roses are red, violets are blue. If your marriage is a sham, we'll be on to you. #Happy Valentine's Day. But like I said, I've been here for 9 years now, so either that means my marriage is not a sham or they are not yet on to me. It's almost kind of quaint when you look at it now, because this was 2013, and like with everything with Suella Braverman, like it's harder to come up with a cute, pithy rhyme for Rwanda, isn't it? It's enough to make me want to go back to the United States, where politics is very normal. I have an aunt who is an evangelical Christian. She doesn't believe in evolution. One of the things that she believes is that God put dinosaur bones in the earth to test our faith. Which, like, fair play to her is actually quite a good test if you think about it. Because, like, if you think, like, I don't have a problem with Christianity, but if you think that the resurrection of Jesus is a more plausible story than lizards used to be bigger, it's quite a lot of faith, in my opinion. But I don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore because I'm a UK citizen now. Thank you. I swore an oath to the Queen, which I suppose is void now. I passed the life in the UK test, meaning I know all the very important things that one has to know in order to sustain life, to live in the UK. For example, who is the first person to run a mile in 4 minutes? That's one guy who can stay. The rest of you are deported. That is my understanding of the immigration rules. It's a pub quiz. I am going to say one more thing about veganism. Do you know that condoms are not vegan? Like the mainstream condom brands that you buy in Boots or whatever, like most of them are not vegan. You have to get the vegan ones special. And I have been using vegan condoms ever since I went vegan 5 years ago. And I have 4 beautiful children. I think, like, apart from taking the test, there are some, like, less official ways that I've kind of become British in the time that I've lived here. For example, I have learned to enjoy cold water swimming because it's the only kind of water that you have here. I went to Cornwall at the end of August when the water in the sea is supposedly as warm as it gets, and my tits fell clean off. And the water was freezing. There is one way that I haven't quite adapted to British culture, though, which is that I have not quite mastered the art of being so polite that I say the opposite of whatever it is that I am actually feeling. And I think the worst example of English people doing this is the way that they use the word unfortunately. Unfortunately, I won't be able to process that return for you today. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to offer you the position. Unfortunately, I am going to have to ask you to leave the lush Oxford Street location. Like, none of that has anything to do with fortune, right? Like, I think that when an English person starts a sentence with the word unfortunately, what they are saying is, go fuck yourself. But they're trying to blame it on the fates. Thank you very much.
It is delightful to be here. I got back from living abroad quite recently. It's weird living abroad as a Brit, because you find out just how much better other countries are at taking pride in their country. Like, it is harder to show affection for England than any other nation. Because when someone owns, like, a big French flag, for instance, it feels like they're saying, I like France. When someone owns a big English flag, it's like they're saying, I will never try hummus. Like, it's different vibe to it. But I mean, we've got things to be proud of in this country. There's at least one thing that this country absolutely leads the world in, right? Supermarkets. We do groceries better than anywhere else on the planet. Because while in America, for instance, most people just shop at Walmart, in Britain, we are home to a full class system of supermarkets. Shops so clearly ranked by level of classiness. Every Brit knows the order. So this is very much the audience interaction part of the set, okay? Because if you disagree with the order that these are put in, heckle away, because it is important it's done right. But you start with Waitrose at the top, right? Yeah. Whose everyday essentials range includes Otter. Then Sainsbury's, I think, which is... No? Oh, we're disagreeing. What are you saying? I'm hearing that it's the democratic view, M&S. That means I refuse to put M&S on my list on the grounds that it is a pervert, okay? This is a supermarket best known for having the horniest advert on television. This isn't just for... Stop making me want to fuck my trifle, okay? That is why we skip M&S, because they're emotional things, supermarkets. Like below Sainsbury's, you've got Tesco, right? The neediest supermarket. Just screeching, if you loved me, you'd have a club card! On a similar sort of level to Co-op, the corner shop that's taken a bath. And then... Then you're down, I think, to Asda, which is less a shop, more Morrison's drunk. Just, oh, I woke up married to a child called George. And then you reach the bottom and the nation's favourite, I think, Lidl. Just, yeah. German for Aldi with its cock out. It's a phenomenal place. It's a wonderful place, Lidl. Home to all your favourite brands in witness protection, right? Who wants a salt and vinegar prongle? It's a marvellous place. I think if there was an express version of Lidl, like a little Lidl, if you will, it wouldn't be a building. It would be a man in a trench coat just going, "No, mate, these are authentic cornflakes, yeah. No, the chickens always had nipples. You're misremembering." It's amazing. I think it's a brilliant place in general, though, the British High Street, because I think every shop we put on it just has such a distinct personality. Like, you've got Holland and Barrett, which is like boots for people who know how to ski. And then Bella Italia, Italian for nothing like Italy, right? My favourite character, though, is definitely Weatherspoons, okay? No, yeah, woo for that. I just love the premise. What if Harvester got divorced? It's great. The best part about Weatherspoons, I think, is the vibe. Oh, because you've got, like, the carpets, the comfort food, the mood lighting. It is so close to being cosy, apart from the feeling, you know? It's like the vibe they're going for is your living room right after a relative said something racist. Just, oh, I feel weird. Should we leave? Yeah, we should leave. Yeah. Amazing. My favourite part of Spoons, I think, actually, is the marketing of it. Because the only place you see Weatherspoons advertised is inside Weatherspoons. just reaching the key Weatherspoons customer, the men who are always in Weatherspoons. Just, oh, we don't go outside, no. That's where Europe lives. That was my time. Thank you very much, everyone. You've been absolutely
Yay! Oh, God, they're going to let Grandad... You know what? You're bloody right. Now, my mother is not here tonight. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all the genders in between. God, that does make me sound so modern, doesn't it? I'm not really. You know, the truth is, us old gits, we're not really comfortable with this whole gender fluid business, you know, because, I mean, you meet a young couple nowadays, they've just had a baby, you go, oh, that's great, congratulations, marvellous news. A boy or a girl? Waiting for it to decide. Okay, fair enough. No, what you see before you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is an old git of 80 with grey hair and an unusually wide parting. And of course, the must-have fashion accessory for all old gits, the fabulous necklace from Specsavers. Some people, of course, go for the Specsavers tiara, a little royal wear. I think that's getting a bit pretentious. So, the thing is, I think we can safely say that I am a fully qualified old fart. And let's face it, they don't call us old farts for nothing because, you know, it's this fact. I'm sorry to tell you, but as you get older, your digestive system gets weaker and you just do fart a hell of a lot more. I'm sorry, but it's a fact. It can be really inconvenient as well, you know, because suppose, you know, you're feeling a bit fruity, a bit sexy, a bit up for it. You go to give your wife a hug. The pressure of the hug makes you both fart, so that's the end of that. Back to the Antiques Roadshow. And as for oral sex, I'm afraid that's right out the question. I mean, yeah, you guys heard of a thing called Russian roulette? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oral sex, Russian roulette, bit like it. Anyway. So, but the point is this, that I think it's statistically probable that nearly all of you here tonight are one day going to reach the age of 80. I just got there a bit ahead of you, right? So what I thought I'd do tonight, mark your card for you, let you know what to expect a bit further down the line, okay? Because I tell you what, you will not see it coming, I guarantee. One of these days, you'll be walking through Marks and Spencer's and you'll suddenly go, ooh, a beige cardigan with elbow patches. Yeah. Put that together with my dung-coloured corduroys and my highly polished walking stick, and hey presto, babe magnet. Whatever you do, though, don't go down the Michael Portillo route of wardrobe as compensation, you know. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting on an ordinary, boring suburban train, reading to you from an out-of-date railway guide, but come on, pink trousers. One thing you need to know is that when you get old, you're a target for muggers, you know, because we're the easy meat, right? The low-hanging fruit. So you need to learn to defend yourself. Now, some people go for Aikido, some people go for Jiu-Jitsu, some people go for karate. Me, personally, I have mastered all the Japanese arts, right? The lot. So, not only can I kill you with one blow of my forearm, but on your grave, I can do a really bloody minimal flower arrangement. Now, I had a bit of a funny week this week. Went to see my friend Dennis. Dennis is 93, in a care home, in a wheelchair, doubly incontinent, peeing and crapping in his pants. And I chatted to him. But he's got his marbles, you know. Chatted to him for a while, and he looked so pathetic. I said, Dennis, do you ever think of, you know, the one-way ticket to Switzerland? You know, Dignitas. He said, oh, no, Jeff, no. He said, what you've got to realise, he said, is when you pee and crap in your pants, they send these lovely young ladies to wash your private parts, with a sponge and warm water. Then you dry it with a towel, bit of talcum powder. He said, you know what, Jeff? He said, a lot of the guys in here could make it to the toilet if they wanted to, but why bother, you know? And you know what? Here's the thing. That meeting with Dennis, it changed my life. Because from up until then, you know, for years I've been dreading getting to the stage that he's at, you know, which I'm not far off it, you know. And suddenly I find I'm quite looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a lovely audience. In fact, you know what? I'm actually going to write a little note to all your parents telling them how good you've been.
Hello. Hey. I'm Cedric. I was born and raised in France, but I live all my adult life here in England, which makes me a frog and a roast beef. A frost beef. I got the best of both worlds. I am arrogant, but I keep on apologizing about it. I'm better than all of you. Sorry. I also now queue, and more importantly, I stay in the queue. But whilst I am in the queue, I'm thinking, fuck you. When I was 10, I was in a hospital. The doctor told me that I was obese, whatever the fuck that means for a 10-year-old. He also told me if you're carrying like this, you're going to have high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol. Sounds delicious. Give it to me, doctor. But to be honest, I was devastated. That was 50% of my world gone. Unhealthy food. The other 50% were my toys. I remember coming from school, go in the kitchen, grab a packet of biscuits, dip it in the Nutella, stuff it in my face, and go in my room to play with my G.I. Joe toys action figure. Punch kick, take that motherfucker, push, poo. Hey, what? No one is looking, let's kiss. Hey, don't you think he's a bit gay? Oh, shut up and kiss me. Oh man, French kiss. I will play with these toys for hours till my mom threw them away. I was only 17. Just a boy. And you know what? It's okay. I grew out of unhealthy food. I played with toys. Instead, I've developed a great sense of fashion, I believe. Philosophy teacher on the top, PE teacher on the bottom, and I love kids. I might be misunderstood. They are the future. I believe in them. Kids are the future. Yes. I have 2 kids on my own. Love them to bits, but they are not the future, not them. I have a 6-year-old. She thinks she's funnier than me. She may have a case. And I have a 14-year-old, a teenager, and she wants to experience everything here and now. And I told her, I put my foot down. I say, you're 14. You cannot have a boyfriend before you're 15. How you like this? Came back a few weeks later, smile on her face. She said, Daddy, I have a girlfriend. Didn't see that coming. As long as she's happy, I'm good with it. It's perfect. But she lives in a world with new ideology, new philosophies that I don't fully understand. And she asked my opinion. She said, Daddy, what do you think on non-binary? When online, I registered to a coding course. She didn't like this, no. She doesn't like it and art, but she doesn't like IT. Anyway, before meeting my partner and having kids, I was struggling with women. I was a bit like Raj in the Big Bang Theory. I couldn't speak to them, pressure was too high. However, when I came here in England, people give me hope. They told me French accents, success. I said I would have my work cut out for me, so I went straight in the pub, saw someone I like, went to talk to her, did the walk. Guys, I'm sure you recognize the walk. Women as well. Chest up, smooth, very smooth. Hello, how you doing? She was not a child, she was sitting, just a... And her name was Emily from Yorkshire. And I want to describe Emily to you guys. She was like the Yorkshire pudding on a Sunday roast. The best. Her and I together were like a piece of Colston Bassett Stilton on a fresh baguette. Mind-blowing. But she broke my heart. Thank you. It was 18 years ago, I'm over it. Thank you. And in order to forget about her, I visited the whole of the UK, and I've been in Leicester. I've been in Worcester. I've been in Bicester. I've been in your sister. Sorry. Guys, it's been my 5 minutes. You've been amazing. Thank you very much.
Hello, hi, I'm Alison. I'm 20 great, and when I left school, I took a gap year. 10 years later, I'm still on that gap year. Yeah, I haven't figured out what I want to do yet, but I've definitely matured. I've definitely grown into these teeth. And that definitely took a good few years because they are huge. Good thing is, though, I don't need to worry about bike lights. These things warn people a mile away. And they're almost as white as my hot yoga class. Yeah. I do love them, though. They make me a very optimistic, positively mentally positive person. Have you met Alison? Oh, she's so nice. She's so happy. She's so smiley. I have to smile. I can't shut my mouth. They make people think two things about me. That one, I'm a teacher. And two, that I would love working with children. And you'd be right about one of those things. Yeah, I am a teacher. Because you know what they say? Those that can't do, teach. That's actually a really horrible thing to say, isn't it? And people have said that to me. I've still slept with them. Yeah. Treat me mean, I'll stay keen. Yeah. School can be really stressful with those little shits. The parents, that is, not the kids. So I love to go running. Away from them! No. I love to go running. It's a great way after a stressful day to get outside, explore somewhere new, listen to a soundtrack of the voices in my head. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. It definitely keeps you going. I actually got into running to get over a boy, classic. Because you know what they say after a breakup, spend some time alone. So I signed up to a marathon, 26.2 miles. It's a lot of time to spend alone. It didn't really work though, because he'd signed up as well. He'd mentioned it before we broke up. So I got there early, ready to race, around the start line, trying to find him. Definitely got his heart racing when he saw me. And bam, he was off. And bam, I was off. And bam, the race officially started. And I spent the race running after him. Love me! Yeah. So I've never dumped anyone. I'm far too desperate. And it's particularly hard to dump a ghost. A ghost, if you don't know, in the dating world, is someone that you spent some time with, really connected with, had some sleepovers, and then they unexpectedly die. And that's why they don't text you back. Fun fact about the afterlife, though, is that they do have Instagram. They're always watching over you. Not that I'm checking my stories. I actually dated a guy last year who came back to life. It was incredible. He was just my type. He was an engineer, a military man. He was smouldering and serious, didn't smile. Not that they need to. I got a big enough smile for both of us. After 3 months of dating, he died. And a whole month later of driving past his flat, remembering the good times, I was contacted by the dead. His name appears on my phone. I am stunned. But it was a special day, and clearly he'd remembered the date. The text was simple. Do I want to hang out? So I play it cool. And I wait. At least a minute before I reply. Yes. And I drive to his flat within 10 minutes. It's actually a 16.5-minute drive to his flat, but I put my foot down. And when I got there, ready for our romantic reunion, he opens the door. Oh, hey. Oh, Scottish. Can I have a look at something? Oh, I'm getting straight to it. Can I have a look at your car paperwork? Well, it's a bit strange, but he's an engineer. Maybe it's their type of foreplay. So I dash to the glove compartment, fix my hair, check my makeup, spray on the Charlie Red. Well, they say when you find something that works, don't change it. And back I go. Swiftly, he takes my papers. Oh, hey. He's still Scottish. I remember. He's remembered. Today's my birthday. This could be the romantic birthday reunion I was hoping for. Your car is due an MOT. Or not. Sadly, he'd just come back to life to mansplain to me. So it's back to the single life for me. But I think I'm still single because I don't know when people are flirting with me. You know, we're just having a chat. Is this flirting yet? We're just having a laugh. Is this flirting yet? We're just having a drink. Is this flirting yet? We're just having sex. Is this flirting yet? He's inside me. Is this flirting yet? He ghosts me. Now he's flirting. Oh, thank you. I'm Alison. Good night.
As you can probably tell, I've been to A&E quite a lot recently. And actually, for the last time I went, it wasn't for me. It was for my little cousin Alethea. She fell off a bike. And they refused to believe that I was her guardian because she's like a tiny little Spanish-looking girl. And I look like Eminem if he lived in a bin. So she needed to be sedated before her procedure. And the doctor came to me and asked me, would I prefer he went with general anesthetic or 110 milligrams of ketamine? My mate Big Steve once took half that amount and he thought he was trapped in an espresso machine. Two things, right? Firstly, why are we giving kids ket? It's only going to raise the prices. And secondly, why is a qualified medical professional with over 20 years of experience asking me, does this look like the face of someone who's going to turn down ketamine? So the thing is, general anesthetic can be quite triggering for kids, especially if they're being restless. And Alethea was understandably pretty upset because I was too weak to carry her brand new bike, so I just chucked it in a canal. But don't worry. She was fine in the end. But trying to be a bit responsible, I asked the doctor if she could try half and see how she feels. I'm glad a few of you laughed there because the doctor did not find that funny. And as I was leaving, I heard the doctor point over to the nurses and be like, can you please go prepare the lines? It's like, the lines? I thought the NHS would be a bit more professional than making a 6-year-old snort up a big fat line of donkey dust. Turns out the lines are what they call the injection tubes. Bit of a misunderstanding. So I asked for my £20 rolled note back. And the whole thing was absolutely great. And actually it's brought us a lot closer together because now she's also into minimal techno. And I know where to get free drugs, and that's the real reason for this sling. Alethea's from the Spanish side of my family. I'm half English, half Spanish. And growing up speaking 2 languages has given me this like quite unique sounding voice, which in my head, I always thought I sounded like a sexy Latino lover. But in reality, my friends say that I've got the voice of someone who leaves comments on Pornhub videos. I will leave you on this. So I recently got my Spanish passport, and it wasn't what I was expecting, because on my English passport, my name's Dominic Burrell. On my Spanish passport, my name is Luis Miguel Jimenez García Borrell Zarza Martínez. Sánchez Ferreira Ramírez López Enrique Iglesias Raúl Mendieta Xabi Alonso Iniesta Shakira Valencia Santiago Santander Benil. What I'm trying to say through the medium of prop is that my name was completely different, right? The weirdest thing is that my mum completely got rid of the Dominic, my first name and my identity, and instead called me Luis Miguel after her really fat cat. Which I was fuming about because clearly she took one look at me and went, huh, massive pussy. Could have been worse. Whoa, like that. Her other cat was called Adolf, which I know a few moans, wildly inappropriate name for a cat, but it was Spain in the 1960s and it had a little bit of black fur just underneath its nose. And it only had 3 legs, so it was always leaning to the far right. But like Adolf, Luis Miguel's quite like a rare name in Spain because back in the 90s, it was the name of like a really lame singer. So it's like how these days, like no babies would be called Gary Barlow. But I did meet one Luis Miguel and he was buzzing when he saw my passport. He was like, he was a cashier at the Spanish embassy, and he was like, I can't wait to go home and tell my mother that I finally found another Luis Miguel. Anyways, my name, amigo. How can I help you? And I was there to pay him £300 to change my name. It was the one time I wished I was called Adolf. But unfortunately, I'm not called Adolf. I'm Dominic. Thank you very much, guys. You've been amazing. Good night.
Are you here for swimming? Okay. Julie? Okay. Rule number 1 when you're swimming is no diving. Okay. Your first time swimming? Me too. As you can tell, I am not from London. I am from France. And in France, we say la swimming pool, la piscine. Oui? La swimming pool, la piscine. Rule number 2, there will be no piss in my pool. Okay. As your swimming instructor, I will answer your questions about swimming. Perhaps I can ask you some as well. Okay, one question I might ask is, why is the pool always blue? Another question I might ask is, why can't we breathe underwater? Another question I might ask is, why isn't aqua aerobics called swimnastics? Okay. T'appelles-tu, your name? Huh? T'appelles-tu, your name? Oh, oh. Your name? Huh? Lucy, j'adore Lucy, j'adore. Do you swim? Yeah. Oh. Okay, Lucy, I will show you some types of swimming, and you shout out what they are, okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay. The first type of swimming. Backstroke. Oh, you do swim? Ah, j'adore Lucy, j'adore. Okay, the second type of swimming, Lucy? Okay. Okay. It's front crawl, Lucy. J'adore, j'adore. Okay. T'appelles-tu, your name? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. What? Rosie? This is your name? This is my mother's name? No? Seriously? I miss my mother so much. She still lives out in France. She has a small bakery, pret-a-manger. She's not as small as I thought, eh? Oh, no. No. J'adore Rosie. What, do you swim? Yeah. And have you been to France? Yes. Where have you been in France? A few. Name one. What? What? Toulouse? I live in a small village outside Toulouse called Milton Keynes. Okay. Okay. So. Rule number 3 when you are swimming is health and safety. Yes, can I have a volunteer? Perhaps you? Will you join me to the stage? Thank you. Round of applause. Okay, I do not have much time. What do you need when you swim? Whoa, whoa, advanced swimmers. I heard swimsuit. Do they have swimsuit? Not on me. You got a crazy voice. You can have mine. But if you cannot see at the back, I am unemployed. For you is some for this. And perhaps yes. For you. You all thought this was real, no? Yes. TikTok, TikTok, come on. Okay, fantastic. Stand there, perfect. Thank you. Rule number 3 is be cool in the pool. For me, I do not wear these things because, as you can see, he looks like a dick. I have been Max Devine. Thank you very much.
So my name is Phil. I'm from Newcastle originally. You probably all know that the football team in Newcastle has recently been bought by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Now, a lot of people object to this on political or moral grounds. Personally, I think it's a good thing. I've been saying for a long time that we could do with a big shake-up there. And if you didn't enjoy that tenuous wordplay, you got along 5 minutes ahead of you. But I don't live in Newcastle anymore. I moved out of London, and I live next to one of these tube stations where they blast out classical music very loudly at night. And I found out apparently the reason they do this at some tube stations is to prevent violent crime. And I also found out that that doesn't work. But what it does do, I found, is when you're getting the shit kicked out of you, it's wonderfully cinematic. It's lovely. It's like being in a Kubrick film. It's nice. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my sexuality before I continue, if that's all right. That's all right with everyone? Yeah. I never used to mention my sexuality on stage. It's not relevant to my material. But I've had a few people ask me about it recently, and they said, Phil, is it all right to refer to you as a gay comedian? Is gay comedian an appropriate term? Or is it more suitable in this day and age simply to refer to you as a comedian who happens to be gay? And I think it's an interesting question because I'm straight. I keep asking. I'm trying to be more positive at the moment, and I think it's difficult to be positive at the moment, isn't it? Because we're kind of in that window, like in between a pandemic and a nuclear war. Cost of living sky high, economy's in the toilet. Both my parents actually lost their jobs last week. I know, it's tragic, isn't it? And I worry about them. I think, are they going to struggle to pay off my student loan? You've got to stay positive, haven't you? They'll find a way, I'm sure. But no, I'm trying to be more positive, and one of the steps that I've taken to become more positive, I've started following a lot of motivational Instagram accounts. Yeah, it's the kind of well-adjusted man you're dealing with tonight. And let me tell you something. You're enough. And you, mate? You're enough. It's my favourite phrase at the moment. It's nice, isn't it? You're enough. It's quite affirming. It means you don't need to compare yourself to others all the time. You're enough. I like this phrase so much that I was walking home late last night and I saw a woman sat on her own on a park bench. She was crying. I thought, I can cheer this woman up. I'll be honest, I had a few drinks. And I couldn't remember the phrase exactly. But I knew the gist of it, you know. Anyway, I walked up to her and I said, "You'll do." Did not cheer that woman up. Fuck it, I tried. But I feel bad for that woman. I felt bad for her because she was obviously sad, but it could have been worse than that. She might have been depressed. She might have been suffering with some mental health issues, and I've just kind of made it worse, you know. And we all suffer from health issues from time to time, right? Yeah, I was at the doctor's myself just last week. I said, doctor, doctor, I feel like a pair of curtains. Mainly because I feel like I'm responsible for a lot of darkness in people's lives. And I also think I'll be found hanging in my bedroom one day. And he said, pull yourself together. Because that's the level of mental health care that we get on the NHS, isn't it? To be fair to that doctor, he did run some additional tests. I got my test results back this morning. Very sorry to tell you all, I've actually been diagnosed with the big C, dyslexia. Devastating. Thanks for coming out. Just to remind you all, my name's Phil Henderson. If you'd like to follow me, I'll be getting the Northern Line home. Balls in your court. Have a good night. Cheers.
Yes! What's going on? Are we all okay? Are we doing okay? Yeah! Ted, I hate you. You're so fucking good looking, sat there, being all young, with your teeth and your nice face and your hair. How old did you say you were? Oh, fuck off, Ted! I would eat my cereal out of those dimples, you know. I am just not on board with it, Ted. Because look, right, and you were a Pilates teacher, yeah? Yeah? Okay, good. Oh. Anyway, don't worry about it, Ted. That's fine. It's all about me now. So what's been going? Because I'm not from here, right? I'm from the north of England, right? And I'm living the London dream now because I live in someone else's cupboard in East London. Yeah, I'm a soy boy, and it's good because what happened to me is basically I'm from like a rough place. Do you know when people say, oh, I grew up rough. I feel like when you grow up rough, you don't know any different, right? Like I just assumed where I grew up, the bins were meant to be on fire. You know what I mean? I always just assumed that the milkman was meant to sell Viagra. That was just what I thought. And then I moved to London, right, where nothing ever happens where I'm from. Nothing ever happens. Like curly fries are still a novelty where I'm from, right? And then I moved to London where everything happens all the time, all at once. 24 hours into being here, I saw 2 nuns in a Pizza Hut. Just stood next to the salad bar being all holy. That was the best day of my entire life. I'd never seen a nun before. I'd never even seen a salad bar. So, you know, it's good. I like, because I live in East London, and East London is like super multicultural, right? It's very different to where I'm from, very multicultural. Every gender, creed, nationality and sexuality have all come together in East London to have one big fight in a kebab shop. It's as close as you can get to social utopia with garlic mayonnaise, Ted. I don't know of a nicer place where you can get on the bus and be told to fuck off in 12 different languages, so... but I feel like everybody, because you're a Pilates teacher, right? I feel like I'm gonna keep on saying it until you get a proper job. I feel like, because we live by trends now, like we live by trends in London. This is the thing I can't get on board with. I get really nervous about things like we live by trends. Everybody looks at the phone and go, oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing. And like when I feel good about myself, when I feel happy with my life, right, every so often my phone will just randomly open on the front camera to remind me that from this angle I look like an old woman's fat knee, right? That's where I'm at. It'll open there, it'll be like, oh, there you go, Jake, just to remind you, you don't have a neck, right? You're just nipples all the way to nose, that's what it is. That's why I have the moustache, to act as a reference point. Foodies, do you know this one? People who are like, oh, I'm a foodie, me. Oh, I love food, couldn't live without food, me. Oh, how quirky about you that is, because personally I can take it or leave it, me. Sustenance. Oh. And then when I first moved to London, it was this thing which was food, street food, you know, all those street food where you go outside and you eat food, which was dead cool. But when you think about it for long enough, you realise that street food is basically just eating fish in a car park, isn't it? That's what it is. That is buying a sausage off a man who sleeps in a van. That's what that is. I've never in my entire life been sat in a restaurant and been like, do you know what this lasagna needs? Do you know what this lasagna needs? More wind. That's what that needs. And then there's the other ones, which is like alternative healthcare. Do you know this one? Alternative healthcare, where people like lick fucking stones instead of paracetamol or something like that. Personally, I think it's good form not to take medical advice off the kind of person who would wear a toe ring. Because, like, look, no disrespect, right? But I feel like if Don't worry about that. I've panicked now because of what's just happened there. But the worst one for me is, do you all know, have you ever met anybody who rock climbs for a hobby? Oh my goodness me, because they're the worst people in the world, aren't they? They're so absolutely unbelievably boring. I met someone at a house party recently who rock climbed for a hobby, and his name was Cliff, right? And a red flag about Cliff was he didn't think that was funny, right? He was talking to me about, do you know those shoes, the toe shoes? Do you know those shoes with the toes in them? Do you know them? Oh, he's telling me about those. Up until that point, I never felt as a person you could feel sympathy for an avalanche, right? But this was me and Cliff, and I feel like as a society we should probably do something about those toe shoes, because I'm not saying it is, but it has to at least be adjacent to paedophilia, doesn't it? Good, you're all wonderful. I'm Jacob Ryan Murphy. Thank you so much.
I'll start off by telling you a little bit about myself. My name is Shahbaaz, and I am of Asian heritage. More specifically, I am half Indian and half Iranian. No, please, hold the applause. There's a revolution going on. But no, it's an interesting mix, being half Indian, half Iranian. It technically makes me an ethnic minority, which I'm not gonna lie, I've always found it quite weird that we refer to Indians as a minority, even though we make up 1/8 of the world's population. Do you know what I mean? Like, how can we be a minority when there's literally 1 billion of us? And that's just counting the ones in Birmingham. We get it. It's quite funny. I ran that joke by a friend, and he was just like, "No, obviously, no one thinks you're a minority in like the grand scheme of the world, but it's just like you'd be a minority if you were to live somewhere like Glasgow, let's say, or like let's say you lived in like Alabama. You'd be a minority there." And I was like, "That's true, but you know what else is a minority in those places? Teeth." So I don't think we should be taking them too seriously. Just a fun one. That's interesting. I had quite an interesting upbringing as well, because I was born in England, but I grew up in Dubai. And whenever I tell people this, I always feel like they think I had this like really lavish and exciting upbringing. But the truth is I didn't. Because we lived in Dubai between 1996 and 2004, when it was shit. Because we didn't have like fast cars and tall buildings and huge malls. We had sand. Kind of everywhere. There wasn't much going on. There was really not much to do. I mean, telling people you lived in Dubai in the early 2000s is kind of like telling people you had sex with Kim Kardashian in the early 2000s. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's that impressed by it because it took place before all of the money and construction work. Doesn't really count, It's an interesting experience. But I don't know. I've always felt like I quite like shit on Dubai. I always say, oh, it was so terrible growing up there. But it wasn't that bad, There was a few things I struggled with though growing up in Dubai. I think like one of the things I really struggled to do in Dubai was date. I always found that quite hard. I think the main reason I struggled to date in Dubai is because I was 5. Makes it quite difficult, Because I don't know if you know this, but it's quite hard to get laid in Dubai as a 5-year-old, Because Dubai is a Muslim country, not a Catholic one, and that's a joke we're applauding. Nice. It says more about you than does me. No, thank you. But no, I've been trying to date recently, and I'm not gonna lie, dating's new to me. I've never really done it before. Like, I'm brand new to it. I'll be honest, dating's never really appealed to me. But something else that doesn't really appeal to me is dying alone. So gotta choose one. I've been trying, man, and it's been all right? But I have been struggling a bit. I thought I'd have more success at first, because I went on dating apps and I saw like a lot of girls were saying the same thing. A lot of girls would be like, I'm just looking for a guy who doesn't take life too seriously. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for a guy who doesn't take life too seriously. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm the perfect candidate. I mean, think about it. I'm 27, unemployed, single, live with my parents, and trying to be a stand-up comedian. I think it's pretty safe to say I don't take this life shit seriously at all. Do you know what I mean? It's quite alarming how unserious I am about life. But I think the main issue that I've been having is that I don't think I'm much of an alpha male. I don't think I give off like alpha male vibes, I usually leave a pause in case anyone wants to disagree. You all seem pretty on board with that statement, so we'll move on. But I realize this, man. I know this about myself. But I'm also not good at like texting, like flirty texting, like sexting. I'm bad at all that. Like, I don't really understand it. Like, I'm really bad at like picking up hints and cues and all that kind of thing. And all that kind of stuff. And then especially like the sex. Like, one thing I never understood is like, when guys are just like, girl, I'm gonna fuck you so good, you ain't gonna be able to walk in the morning. You ever hear this? Like, you're gonna need a wheelchair. That's a threat. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the threat. I never really understood it. It's just like, yeah, every time you log into your bank account and you see that disability allowance, you'll be thinking of me. Like, I don't understand what's arousing about that. But I thought I'd try it, you know. So I was like texting this girl. We'd been chatting for a while, going back and forth, and things have been started progressing. And, you know, we messaged, and she messaged me one day. I was like, just so you know, I'm home alone. I was like, oh, really? She was like, yeah. And I was like, oh. She's like, I'm home alone. Got this big empty house all to myself. There's going to be no one here. I'm going to be so lonely being all alone. And I was like, oh, that sounds pretty scary. Good luck with that. And then... yeah, I had it over. And she was like, hey, fuckface, come over. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. Right, and then we were going back and forth. And then, you know, the subject of sex came up, and then we were like going back and forth. And then she was just like, oh, you know, so how good is it going to be? I was like, pretty good. She was like, how good is it going to be? I was like, pretty good. And then I was just like, and I didn't know what to say. She was like, no, see, how is it good it going to be? I was like, I don't know. And I thought of the wheelchair thing, you know, so I was just like, oh, say something like that, like women like that, right? So she's like, how good is it going to be? I was like, let's just put it this way. You'll be dead by the morning. Cheeky, you know? But yeah, we don't talk anymore, so I'm still working on that. But you guys have been great. Thank you very much.
I love getting unexpected compliments. Just the other day, I got a letter from my credit card company saying that my payments were outstanding. Oh, so glad they appreciate me. You know word-a-day calendars? Yeah, learn a new word every day. I'm not smart enough for a word-a-day calendar, so I got myself a word-a-month calendar. This month's word, August. I was on the overground recently, and I noticed a sign that said, how can you tell if a plainclothes ticket inspector is on your journey? I can't tell. And this terrifies me. So I had to develop a system so that I never got caught out by a plainclothes ticket inspector. Here is that system. You just stand there, wait until they pull out their ticket scanner. Then you pull out your ticket scanner. That's right. I'm also a plainclothes ticket inspector. I've been under deep cover for 3 months. And you just blew my whole operation. Report to the chief. She'll have your lanyard for this. So I have a friend, honest, I do. And when this friend was in secondary school, his PE teacher made all the kids in his class run around with dust masks on so that they could experience what it would be like if they had asthma. Except my friend had asthma. So he just got to experience what it was like to have double asthma. This whole exercise was supposed to teach these kids sympathy, but it just taught him irony. So I was on Twitter recently, which I don't recommend, by the way. And on Twitter, 2 dads posted a picture with their baby. You know, perfectly normal thing. 2 dads, one of them is trans, they have a baby, nothing wrong with that. Except because this is the internet, it made some people unreasonably upset. A baby can't have 2 dads. It'll confuse the baby. Even if that were true, which I don't think it is, even if that were true, I don't think we should be deciding what's allowed based on what's confusing to a baby. Everything's confusing to a baby. They're a baby. They didn't exist 3 months ago. Traffic lights are confusing to a baby, but I'm pretty sure they're a good idea. If we decided our laws based on what confuses a baby, playing peekaboo would have the death penalty. Got your nose would get your thumb cut off. So before lockdown, I flew first class for the first time. Ooh. Jealousy. Don't worry, that jealousy will slowly dissipate over the course of this story because I didn't deserve to fly first class. I was visiting my girlfriend's parents and her dad didn't want his daughter dating some economy man. So he upgraded my seat, which I didn't know you could do, by the way. You can upgrade to someone else's seat. He didn't need my booking number or permission. He just upgraded my seat. If I'm ever a millionaire, I'm going to do that to random strangers on the plane. But like, not as philanthropy. I'll pick a couple with a baby and just upgrade the dad. You know, really test that relationship. Does he take it? Does he offer it to his partner? Do they both enjoy economy and send the baby to first? That's the smart one. So in first class, I don't want anyone else to know that I don't deserve to be there. So when they offer a complimentary glass of champagne, yeah, you bet I'm accepting. Wrong move, economy man. Fancy people aren't visibly excited for free champagne at 6 a.m. They don't think you're poor, they think you're an alcoholic and they're judging you. So in first class, you get this fancy leather seat, the back goes down, the legs come up, you can lie down, you can sit up, you can... Just those two things, it's a chair, but it's pretty fucking cool. And after the champagne, they bring you a pillow sealed in plastic. And the person opposite me accepts, so I know it's not another trick. I take it and open it. Wrong move, economy man. You're not supposed to open the pillow right away. Everyone else discards it to one side because it's not a pillow. It's a duvet they've compressed down and shrink wrapped the size of a pillow. Because I've ripped open the plastic packaging, it starts expanding out like Mentos in Diet Coke. So I cram it under the seat and put the legs back down. Except the legs don't go back down. And I hear this grinding sound. They don't come back up either because the duvet is now caught in the mechanism of the fancy chair. I end up sticking my hand down the side of the chair to try and yank it out, but it rips, so now I'm just pulling this ribbon of ripped fabric, tattered like my dreams. I'm going unnoticed. The worst part is that later in the plane ride, flight, I think they're called, I actually wanted a duvet, and if I'd asked for a replacement, I'm sure they'd have given it me, but I'd have felt shame. Wrong move, economy man. Fancy people don't feel shame. They're that part of their brain burnt out by designer drugs, chemically castrating their sense of humility. They're not embarrassed for accidentally shredding a duvet. They do that shit on purpose as a power move. Another duvet, please. Warm it up this time or I'll shred it again. I've been Andrew Coleman. You've been lovely. Good night.
Hello. How are we all doing? Yes, good. I'm stressed. I'm very fucking stressed. I'll tell you for why. You might be wondering, my vibe this evening, it's very much, Barbie having a breakdown. And that's because that's true. That's where I'm at tonight. I actually bailed out my best mate's wedding to be here. Yeah. Wish I was lying. No, I'm not. He was offering, like family, friends, wholesome, love. This place was offering a potential £200 cash prize. And I know where my bread's buttered. That's all I'm going to say. I'm from the north. Yeah, we have some fans of the north in tonight. Fabulous. I'm a fan too. And been down in London for a little while now. And when I came down here, I brought loads of my northern friends with me. But not all of them survived the past couple of years. They didn't, die or anything. They just, left London and moved to the countryside. So, same difference really, isn't it? Yeah. When I came down here, my friendship group, it was like the cast of Friends, Now it's a little bit more like that spin-off series, Joey, where, I'm Joey, all my friends have fucked off. I've had to make new ones, and they're a bit shit. No one told me life was going to be this way. Had to. Yeah, but like I said, been down here a little while now, and I'm loving it. I am loving it. And when I was up in the north, there's differences. There's clear, stark differences between then and there. And one of the major ones is the fact that when you're there, you get these local eccentrics. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a little story, and I heed you a little warning about these local eccentrics. While you lot, Londoners, you might be thinking of moving to the north. And I'm going to heed you a warning. The rumours, they're true. The houses up there, they are cheaper. The air, it is cleaner. But the people will talk to you. Oh, yes, they fucking will. Total strangers. They'll find you when you're at your most vulnerable. I was back home a couple of weeks ago. Thought, I'll go for a little wander. Make the day feel fun. Went for a little walk. Was outside. Soaking in that stench of manure. Yeah. Shoved my AirPods in, listened to a little podcast about men abducting women. My kind of shit. And I'm walking along, I spot a Tesco's, and I'm like, I'm going to go in. I'm going to buy myself a packet of Quavers, spice the day up a little bit. And I'm in the queue, minding my own fucking business. And then out of fucking nowhere, this little old lady just appeared, as if out of thin air. She was like... Sorry? I said, it looks like rain to me. Yeah, no, I guess you're right. Yeah, it does. And then I was in, fucked it, engaged with the little old lady, had to walk her home. Yeah. She invited me in, she had a packet of Werther's Originals, did a little word search, heard all about how her grandchildren rarely visit anymore. Can't go 2 days without a text from Betty now. And those local eccentrics, they're what I'm warning you about. My town has a few of them. While you were dealing with, like knife crime, gang violence, we were too busy dealing with the one man that brings all his chickens into Morrison's in a wheelbarrow. Yeah. It was called Chicken Man George. Lovely fella. Smelled like a bin. Yeah. Next town along, they had Catsuit Sue. Yeah, pretty on-the-nose nickname. She wore a catsuit. Her name's Sue. Iconic. Town along from her, Crackhead Carol. Hey, no, sorry, let's not judge. Carol was not doing drugs, no. But one day Catsuit Sue came to town and Carol cracked her head open. So that's where that went. Yeah. But to be honest, I'll be honest, like London it's changing me, since I've been here. When I came, I had no idea what lactose intolerance was. Now I have it. How the fuck did that happen? Yeah. Get a lot of people repeating my vowel sound since I moved here. That's fun. Yeah, I used to work in central London until pretty recently. I had to quit. I was getting a lot of shit for the way that I answered the phone. Hello, Sir Hotel. Sir Hotel. Sir Hotel. Yes, sir. Are you having an aneurysm or are you fucking lost? Prick. Yeah. Yeah, but like I say, I'll end on a nice note. I am starting to really like it down here. And being a Yorkshire lass in London, it can be quite the conversation starter. People warm to you quite quickly. Or so I tell myself. And I was out with this girl. We were having a drink. And she's a new girl, new friend, posh girl, Tunbridge Wells. I'll say no more. And we sat opposite each other and she goes, Beth, I was wondering, we're having this little dinner out in Shoreditch. It's like a little party. And I was wondering if you wanted to come. And I was like, yes, I would love to come to the party in Shoreditch. If you could just let me know when, and thank you. So I rock up to this party, knock on the door, Booth lets me in, and I quickly realised I was being introduced as the novelty guest. Yeah. I walk in, she's like, guys, this is Beth. Beth has milked a cow. And that's how I got my nickname, my local eccentric nickname of Backwards Beth. Thank you very much.
Yay, Beth